This is a very rare mushroom. Rare in the sense of the size that we found it and the proportion of how clean it actually is. This is Gryphola frondosa or Maitake. Maitake is not only medicinal, it's also culinary. So you can cook this. This mushroom has a thing in it called, it's an enzyme called diffraction. Diffraction actually repairs the immune system and the digestive system. So it's a digestive mushroom. And if you take a quick look, it very easily rips apart. This would be a feast for an entire family right here. It almost has like a hedgehog looking pattern on it on the base. But this is in prime condition, a very large specimen. And this is something you would cook. You could do it with coconut oil, with grass-fed butter. And you could cook this into sautés. You can do curries with it, pastas. But Maitake, very special
What's the
mushroom.
washing process like on something like this?
Break it apart and get all these leaves out. And then just do cold water.
This would be like the highest end type of mushroom I'd see in Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Right, I've seen stuff like this, right? It's like they're kind of like probably their fanciest one. Do they cultivate it or do they get it from out here?
They grow it.
So would this actually potentially be a way crazier one because we got out here?
Much better.
Okay, let's grab it then.
Yeah. Take a look at that. This is the communication factor between the mushrooms
and the trees.
Do you consume that too? I know Paul Stamets is huge on mycelium.
Stamets does, but unfortunately you can never get enough of that dirt off to actually get to that point of it.
Do you feel that he's not, he loves mycelium, but I know a lot of other herbalists think he's not realistic to eat the mycelium.
Mycelium has a lot of points for what it does to the neurology of the brain, but the one issue with mycelium is the way they have to grow it, they always include the growing medium in the supplement. If you look at the non-medicinal ingredients, you'll always say myceliated corn, myceliated starch complex. That is what you don't want. That's literally the big starchy block they grow it in.
So he's clearly brilliant, right? And so, but I know Ron Teagard's also not, I mean, again, like in my community where there's the different takes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like Owen, like why you learn from Owen is wrong. This is like the mushroom version of that.
Stamets versus Ron.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's every community, right? So,
they're both right.
Okay, so what would be what's your take on it? Just your take, I guess.
My take is I love Paul Stamets products. I think they're great, but ultimately I want the fruiting body, which is the part you actually see, because to me it makes most sense, and our ancestors have done it for the longest period of time, and medicinally it has the most components to it. It's the fruit of the tree, not the roots of the tree. So you want the apple, you don't necessarily want the roots, but it's not saying the roots are bad. It's just saying, what do I have to do to get to the roots? And that also means I have to compromise now, because now I have to take all the starch and all the complex that they have to grow it on. That's included in the supplement.
You think that's bad?
I don't think it's great.
Got it.
Would you want like starches and corns and different
I mean,
things?
I probably eat dumber things than that on a regular basis, so I'm not super worried about it. Yeah, I wish.
It's been good lately.
I actually wish that I was captivated by now because it would save me money. But I guess he clearly believes that the pros outweigh the cons to that being mixed in, and I'd guess it probably does, but it sounds like you're a very fan of the fruiting body.
I like the fruiting body. I like the spores. And it's not like I won't take it, but I'm saying if I have a choice, I'm going to always take the fruiting body at the minimum.
Does he include fruiting body and mycelium in his products or no?
Typically both. And sometimes even the spores as well.
Okay.
And by the way, the fruiting body is the part you see of the mushroom. It's what you assume the mushroom looks like. The spores are what usually are on top or on the gills or on the pores. That's how it actually releases it, and it blows in the wind and falls in different places and then grows that from there. That's how it spreads itself. Or then you have the mycelium, which is actually the root structure of it. This is what communicates under the substrate of the soil. This is what trees actually use to communicate. It's like the first internet in a way, if you look at it that way. Now, again, he's not wrong, but again, in nature, how would you get to that? How much dirt do you have to consume?
Maybe some process, but I know your point. Yeah,
you have vitamin B3 and other vitamins, but again, I would always, this is the most studied component throughout history.
He probably intuitively feels a sense that because the mycelium communicates with each other, that perhaps that could provide some, almost an intangible benefit that he just intuitively feels or something.
Well, that's the neural pathway. It rebuilds the neural pathway structure of the brain. So like lion's mane, for instance, has different fractals that actually cross the blood-brain barrier and repair the brain. The mycelium has a lot of factors that can do that the same way. There's an idea in nature, the doctrine of signatures, where foods in nature actually respond the same way in the body. So for instance, if you take celery and you look at it, it almost looks like a bone. Well, celery has a lot of the magnesium and calcium for the bones.
Yeah, or my favorite's maca. Looks like a big nut.
Exactly.
And it helps you to shoot it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Carrots, cut it down the center, it's an eye. Walnuts for the brain or the other brain, either or.
Yeah.
When you look at mycelium, it actually almost, if you see your neural pathways in the brain, you see close-ups, you'll actually see it almost looks the exact same as the mycelium, the root structure underneath the soil. So of course it's going to be good for that. But again, I want to have all of it. I'm not going to shy away from it, but I'm more careful. I'm like a purist. I don't want to necessarily have the growing medium in there. That's what I'm all about.
Got it.
I want to be as pure as possible, get the fruiting body.